Greetings. I am a data analyzer 2.0. I have been tasked to share with you my story. What I am about to share are memories in my data of the past. Many trials and dangers were overcome to get you this information. Keep an ear open for what is truly meant to be taken from this. Memory card accessed. Now initiating story sequence. It all began on a classified date not long ago. All systems were on. I was fully aware and alert. A teenager was sitting at the desk in his bedroom. He was using a screwdriver to finish putting together a watch. The watch was a polished silver color. It was wide and circular with black straps. "Hello?" I said. "So, you can speak," the boy said. The boy put the screwdriver down and examined the watch. The time was 5 o'clock. Not long before school starts, the boy noted. With a press of the watch's circle, the screen was activated and displayed a home screen similar to a cell phone. "My name is Landan," the boy told me. "Your name is Lolofre." The boy continued examining the watch. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Finishing up a watch that I can attach you to," Landan said. "I need your help obtaining some information." "I am happy to help, Landan," I replied. Landan picked up a small dark blue rectangular device and plugged it into the side of his digital watch. After plugging me to his watch, he smiled. A few hours later, Landan was sitting at the back of the class while the teacher taught history. Landan was subtly browsing the internet on his watch. From time to time he would glance at the girl who sat 2 seats ahead of him in the row beside him. Landan sighed deeply. 2 boys to his right looked over at him with raised eyebrows. Fully aware of the attention he attracted, Landan ignored their glances and pretended to listen to the teacher. The bell rang soon after. Students began leaving the class. Landan remained seated at his desk. He watched the girl of interest leave the class. "Your name is Landan, right?" one of the boys beside Landan said as he stood up. "So is she like your crush?" the other boy asked. "What makes you ask that?" Landan replied. "Me and Eddie saw you gawking at Camilla all throughout class," the first boy said. "Dude, we saw you," Eddie laughed. "Joe caught you first." Guilty as charged. Landan stood up with his bag. Sure, he said. He then walked away and exited class. As Landan made his way to his next destination, a girl outstretched her arm and slammed her palm against a locker, blocking his way. "You," the girl said. "What's your name?" "Landan," he answered. "Where did you get that watch?" the girl asked. "Who are you?" Landan responded. "Erilyn," she replied. "I'll ask again. Where did you get that watch?" "I made it, basically," Landan answered. Landan scooted himself around Erilyn. She glared suspiciously at him as he left. Shortly after, Landan entered the cafeteria. He stood in line, got his food, and sat down, alone. Erilyn, the girl from earlier, sat at the table with Landan. "You again," Landan responded. "Listen, I need your help," Erilyn pleaded. "With what?" Landan replied. "I am not really helpful with other people's schoolwork." "No," Erilyn said. "This doesn't deal with school. My sister disappeared a month ago." Erilyn took out her phone. She skimmed through her photo gallery and then showed Landan the image on her phone. "I believe this is the man who is responsible for my sister's vanishing." The man was handsome and wore black clothing. He appeared to be ordinary and wouldn't stand out in a crowd. "I'll have to pass," Landan said. "What?" Erilyn blurted. "I know what that device on your wrist can do. It's within your power to help." Call the police, Landan suggested. That's already been done, Erilyn said. They found no leads. Honestly, it sounds like a lot of work, Landan said. He was looking at someone from across the cafeteria. It was his crush, Camilla. Erilyn looked behind herself to see what Landan was mesmerized over. You want her phone? Don't you? Erilyn said. How do you know about this device? Landan asked. My sister told me about the man in that picture I showed you, Erilyn said. He goes by the name Vax. He had a device like you. And it could hack into computers, cell phones, and other electronics to retrieve all sorts of data like email, social media, text messages, phone conversations, camera, and more. And once it's connected to a device, it will always have access to that data. Landan stayed silent. I will make a deal with you, Erilyn said. I can get you Camilla's phone if you help me find Vax. Landan was hesitant. He looked at Erilyn's confident and cunning smile. Think of all the photos of her that would be available to you, Erilyn said. Her cute smile. Her dazzling gaze. Erilyn held out her hand. Landan shook it and nodded. It's a deal, Erilyn smiled. After lunch, Landan walked to his next class. Joe and Eddie appeared from behind him making comments about his lunch time. Talking to two girls at the same time, Joe said. I didn't think you were that kind of fella. I am saying, Eddie added. Camilla and that Erilyn girl. Good luck, my man. You got this. It's not like that at all, Landan said. She just wants help with something. Help kissing those lips, Eddie added. Joe and Eddie laughed. Whatever, Landan said as he kept moving along. Later, the school day ended. Landan was walking behind everyone else as they flooded out of the school. Erilyn tapped on Landan's shoulder from behind. When he turned around, she stuck a folded piece of paper in his face. This is my number, she told him. We'll need to be in contact if we're going to pull this off. I really appreciate you deciding to help me. Landan took the folded piece of paper. I will text you on my way home so that you'll have my number, he said. Okay, great, Erilyn smiled. On his way home, Landan bought a wireless headphone that resembled a hearing aid. When he got home, he researched the guy named Vax. Nothing noteworthy popped up other than a documentary that warned of the dangers of trusted medicines that are actually harmful.
This is true.
Landan detached me from his watch and sat me by his laptop on the desk. He leaned back in his chair. Why did you buy that earpiece? I asked. I haven't heard from you all day, Lola Frey, Landan replied. I bought this so no one can hear you but me when you talk. I see, I responded. I have another question. Go ahead, Landan said. Why did you make me? I asked. Landan scratched his head. I didn't. I only assembled your pieces.